Hey, thanks Brad from Shiny Tech Things. I really appreciate you helping me with this video.
No problem, John. This is actually a pretty good camera on the Galaxy S21 Ultra.
Yeah, they are, but I really don't think that the long lens is for social distancing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, we could try the full lens.
Okay, sure, not a problem.
But yeah, I don't think that's working either. Let's just get started. So one of the amazing things about the Galaxy S21 Ultra is that it has 5 cameras that all have their own particular use cases. And I was curious, what would happen if you tried to use the wrong cameras for the use cases? That's what we're going to try to find out. All right, so let's start off with just the basic selfie. Of course, the main camera we would use for a basic selfie is going to be our front-facing camera. And what better place to do that than here at the Hollywood sign?
So the obvious place to start is with the regular selfie cam. You can see what you're doing and you can take your picture. It looks pretty good as you would expect, and you bring it into 200%, you get a good amount of detail. But can we get more? Here we're looking at the same camera but using the full 40 megapixels that are available. And if we come into 200%, you can see there's a bit more detail.
But we have a higher quality camera on the back. We have the 108 megapixel main sensor. And if I want to grab a 108 megapixel selfie, I can. Just pulling this out.
And the lens is wide enough, you really don't have to worry about aiming. But you can see it's a pretty nice looking sharp picture. The main sensor's got some good colors. But when we zoom in, you can see how ridiculously high resolution this thing really is. But it's still a pretty good choice for selfies.
What would be the wrong camera to use? I don't know. Let's try some telephoto selfies. So first off, the 3x telephoto selfie.
Actually, this is pretty good. You'd be better off having somebody else hold it for you, but you get that nice background compression.
The 10x telephoto selfie.
It doesn't really look like the 10x lens really likes focusing this close. Your best bet if you want to get this uncomfortably close is the 108 megapixel. So these are all still selfies. Let's take a look at some motion selfies.
So vlogging is more popular than ever. And generally you're going to use your front-facing camera. So I have my buddy here from Shiny Tech Things helping out with the gimbal. But we're walking along and talking. This is how we would do it with the selfie cam. I can see what I'm doing. We get a nice wide angle. Now, other option. Another option is we can use the ultra wide on the back side of the camera. The ultra wide will help keep you in frame even though I can't see what's going on. You can have a lot of background and it'll help with stabilization. It's a nice thing to use to be able to have a little bit more in the background. But now let's get a little more unconventional. Let's say you really want the detail of the presenter. So we'll go to the 3x telephoto. And I have no idea if I'm in frame, but we're talking, we're vlogging, we're walking, and how's it look? All right, let's bump it up to the next level. 10x telephoto vlogging. Am I in frame? Am I in focus? Who knows? I don't. We'll find out. So you let me know in the comments below, is this the next big trend in vlogging? 10x telephoto vlogging.
If you like what you're seeing and you want to see more of it, feel free to subscribe. Part of the reason for the trip here was that Brad from Shiny Tech Things was going to show me his drones, and we actually got some footage like this, but no drones were involved. Check out his channel to see how we got the shot and hear the story, and be sure to subscribe.
So if I just want to take a picture of the Hollywood sign itself, the obvious choice is one of these rear cameras. Either wide, get the whole scene, or one of the telephoto lenses to get a little bit closer.
So starting here with the ultra wide, you can see how much of the scene we have in here and how small the sign is. Next up is the main sensor, which is still a very wide lens, but this is our highest quality sensor. Moving on to the 3x telephoto, we're really getting into that sign and seeing some more details. But once we hit the 10x telephoto, that sign dominates the frame. But can we go further? You can actually use a 30x telephoto and a 100x telephoto. Both of these are obviously digital crop-ins, but are they useful? I'll let you be the judge.
What if we want to use the selfie camera to take a picture of the sign? Let's try it out.
Here is the 40 megapixel selfie camera being used to photograph a sign far away. Now obviously my composition is terrible because I couldn't see what I was doing, so a little bit of rotation here and a little bit of zoom Having 40 megapixels to work with gives me some leeway. Not too bad considering it's coming off of the front of the phone. Speaking of high-resolution sensors, if you have 108 megapixels that you can crop from, do you really need the telephoto lenses? Well, let's take a look. Here's a shot from the 108 megapixel camera, and I zoom in a bit, you can see that I still have good detail, and I'll switch over to the 3x telephoto lens, and it's pretty close. So let's focus in on just the Holly of Hollywood and take a look at how much detail we get out of the 3x telephoto lens, and then move back to our 108 megapixel image and zoom in the same amount, just grabbing that Holly. Looking pretty close. Let's go ahead and put them side by side and see if that 3x is helpful here. Can you tell the difference? On the left is 108 megapixels cropped into the Holly, and on the right is the 3x telephoto optical, also zoomed into the Holly. What do you think? Well, if that doesn't convince you of the usefulness of optical telephoto lenses on a phone camera, let's do the same thing but with a 10x telephoto. So I'm cropping in here to get equivalent to about what the 10x telephoto lens sees. Let's switch over. Now, that's actually a pretty significant difference. You can see that there's a lot more clarity in the image, and you can actually see that there's corrugation in the letters themselves. So while I suppose there is an argument to be said that if you have a high megapixel camera, you may not need a short telephoto lens, there is no replacing a long telephoto lens being done optically, at least not yet.
All right, so that's using the S21 Ultra in a couple of interesting ways. I want to thank Brad from Shiny Tech Things for coming out all the way out here to Hollywood, California to help out with this and come out with his family. What do you think of your trip so far?
It's pretty nice out here, except for the traffic.
Okay, I can't argue with that. But go check out his channel, Shiny Tech Things, a lot of cool stuff on there. But until next time, never stop having fun.